everybody, welcome back to another episode of Noah's Window. I'm so excited to be joining you guys again. My name is Daniel Hanna, I'm the group's pastor at New Spring, and I've just been sharing some of my favorite Proverbs. We're in a series at New Spring called Going Pro Coached Up right now, and so we just I just wanted to share different Proverbs that have meant a lot to me, that have encouraged me. It's one of my favorite books of the Bible because you can read a proverb every single day, just kind of follow along the date of the month. And you can read through Proverbs every single month doing that. So it's quick, little nuggets of wisdom that excite me. So today I want to share one with you that is another really important proverb to me. It's a pretty well-known proverb. A lot of people have heard this, and maybe you've quoted this and never really knew where it came from. But this is one of my favorites. It's Proverbs 27:17. And this is the Amplified version again. It says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another." The Amplified version goes a little bit further. "As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens and influences another through discussion." My job here at New Spring is I get the great privilege of helping people get connected in groups or leading a group. And my job really is to work with all of our volunteer leaders and just invest in them and love on them and resource them and pour into them. And I love working with all these people to get groups launched because I think community is such a big part of growing spiritually and producing fruit for the kingdom of God. And one of the ways you do that is by just doing life with other people and talking about spiritual things, talking about your faith, talking about what you're struggling with. You have those conversations through discussion. Iron sharpens iron. So when I was growing up, my mom, my dad would, anytime he'd make stir fry or something like that, anytime we'd have, my mom, always had like kind of a routine schedule for dinner and different meals that we'd eat pretty much the same every week. It was, we knew like on Tuesday we were having this or spaghetti or whatever. But occasionally my dad would make stir fry or he'd help cook. And my dad would come into the kitchen and he would, always sharpen a knife. And so he'd pull out this knife and, like a kitchen knife and one of those sharpening rods. And he'd always sneak up behind my mom because my mom hated the sound of a knife being sharpened because she said it always hurt her teeth. I don't know if you react like that. I've never been bothered by that, like nails on a chalkboard never really bothers me. It's uncomfortable, I guess, but it's not like, ah. But my dad would always come up behind mom and just shing, 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 sharpen his knife like right behind her head, and she'd freak out, and run off like, "Oh, stop it, my teeth." But I always, every time I read that verse, I think about that interaction because, the sharpening rod is really pointless if there's no knives to sharpen. And the knife, if it doesn't have a sharpening rod, it's eventually going to get dull. And so when I look at those two items, I realize that they need each other, right? They need each other to be, to function completely in the way that they were created to function. Now, a knife can still be used if it's dull, it just won't work as well. And a sharpening rod, I guess, could be used as some kind of tool or weapon, if it's not sharpening knives. But they're never living up to the potential that they were made for if they're not being used with each other. And so one of the first sermons I ever gave when I was in college, we had to, we took this preaching class, and I had to, our first talk that we did in class could only be 5 minutes. And this was the verse that I picked. And I told that story about my dad because we need each other. So a big way that happens is in a New Spring group, is getting connected with a group of people where you can discuss things, or maybe just finding a mentor, someone you can meet one-on-one with to just have conversations with, because it's through discussion that we sharpen each other. And if we can't have those discussions and get together and talk with people about what's going on in life and what God is teaching us, it's really hard for us to really function the way that we were made in the best way possible, because we need each other. We need each other to sharpen one another. So that's the proverb for the day. I just think it's so important. I think that happens in community. Whether you're a part of one or leading one, you can experience sharpening from another person, or maybe it's, whatever it looks like. It's just a wonderful thing to have friends where you can have those discussions, because that's how we get better and grow. And so it's one of my favorite proverbs. Hope that's an encouragement to you today. Thank you so much for watching, praying for you, love you, and we'll see you soon.